another edition of Morning Coffee with Big Al.
And specialty.
We're happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio, AOC Community Media streaming broadcast.
Look for us every day of the week. Our 8 a.m. show will start your morning off right. That's right in a good way.
Not right as in radical right. We bring you good times, or good ideas, good pastimes, and who knows what else.
With a progressive flair. We'll get that right one of these years, I swear.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Our 7 p.m. stream is a great backdrop for some decaf or peace of mind. So either way, get your coffee or your tea or your water or whatever else it is that you might like in the evening. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
All right. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing reasonably well. You look like you're in a slightly different venue there.
I am. I'm in a Japanese garden, but not in Japan. Actually, Lafayette, Louisiana. The water is falling in the heck. I can show you this. It's really beautiful. See, we got like a little waterfall and a little lady with a bowl and a pagoda over there and Buddha. We got the whole deal here. It's really cool. So
it looks like you have other people in your midst.
I have landscaping and friends, and so anyway, we are all happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio. We've got visitors from the Dakotas who came all the way down on a trip and arrived last evening. And we have some academics who have relocated from Pennsylvania to Lafayette, and they like it here. And then we got our friendly host who is a Louisiana native, and actually I think you're a Louisiana native too, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, Tom is actually originally from this area. Roanoke. I passed that on the freeway when I'm heading west.
But it don't take long to get past it.
Yeah, I always wondered about that and always thought of deer when I passed that place. You know, the Roanoke, the ones of the Carolinas, that deer that had Roanoke written on its side. I don't know what that was that we learned in school, but it was definitely part of my social studies class. So anyhow, but yeah, Roanoke, Louisiana. It's interesting how we have so many different cities that are repeat names from different places, like Paris, Texas, and Iowa, Iowa, Louisiana.
Yeah, we have Iowa here.
Yeah, we have Jennings, Florida, also, and so it's like you run out of names.
Yeah, Paris reminds me of one in France, I think.
Yeah, me too. Most people relate to that, so it's kind of funny.
You need to angle your screen
this way.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I'm feeling that like we have this like vacuum that's going on in Lafayette right now. You know, it's like I got this call today from the law enforcement folks wanting me to give like this blanket check to help everybody in Louisiana law enforcement. And
that sounds like fun.
Well, I told him, I said, I've got some really, in particular, people in law enforcement that I would rather give any donations to them in particularly because I like the way they operate and it's not a blanket thing anymore. No.
So you don't want to just sign a check and leave it all open and give it to them, huh?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, the police chief here in Lafayette, I don't know if he's getting an employment right now, but maybe he needs a check.
Okay. You want to explain that a little bit to me? Because I'm sort of out of the loop.
Oh, the police chief?
Oh.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I guess.
But his name's Thomas Glover.
That's the one.
Yes.
And he's well, I guess we could say without job for no
But no
public reason.
no explanation.
Right.
And the thing is that he really has made a good impression on most everybody that he's talked to. I know he came to Rotary Club, and most of the folks there were very impressed with him. He went and spoke to a group. So that was Elise's that they spoke at on the last month when they had one of their non-political meetings, just a group of concerned citizens or whatever. He spoke there, and they were impressed too. And he had community meetings, and the people were just really impressed by the fact that they were actually able to talk, and they were being listened to, and vice versa. And we got kind of an update on what was happening as far as truancy, how they deal with that, how the school board, some members of the truancy officers of the school board actually came and talked at this meeting. And Chief Glover was there. Sheriff Garber was there, and the marshal. Oh gosh, what's his name? It escapes me. I always think of Nikki. No, not Dylan. Oh my gosh, no. I'm embarrassed. I can't remember his name. Hey, do y'all remember the name of the marshal or marshal? Thomas. Reggie Thomas. That's right.
Oh yeah, okay.
Reggie Thomas. So yeah, he was there too. So all of them were speaking, and then they had an officer who was involved with the emergency response for storms, and they spoke also. And really, we had sent out some of our law enforcement team from Lafayette to go and help in those officers that were in the area affected. So we've done our due diligence, I think. The only one doesn't seem to be doing exactly, what people would expect. I guess there are city officials, some of them.
Yeah, they seem to be a little bit. I don't know. I feel kind of like I'm in the dark on what, if anything, was the transgression.
Yeah, well, I just hope it all gets worked out. We with the city, all the people who live here rely on the city actually doing the things that they're supposed to do, and when it has disruptions that put us in a bad light, that's not very good. And
I would tend to agree.
And some of the methods of addressing things like homelessness and some of the people who don't have a place to live, that sparked a little bit of question. Let's talk about closing some of our rec centers caused some questions, and it seemed that some of those have been resolved, or at least are not being repeated. But I don't know what's going to happen with this other. I've heard a lot of folks say that they think that some of these folks who are affected ought to be running for office next time that are not in office now. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting, because I know Captain Glover or whatever. I don't know what title. Chief. Yeah, okay, Chief. But he sounded like he was not gonna just go away with his tail between his legs on this.
No.
Which I think would be good, because I don't know. I just have some questions about some of the actions that are taken that have, I hadn't heard any explanation.
Well, I think that it's going to end up being a legal thing that maybe it might even come into the courts because, from what I understand, what transpired, cannot be defended. In the meantime,
Oh, it can't be what now? Say that again.
Defended.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not legally.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know that we've got like elections coming up. I think it's on the 13th of November, or the 3rd?
The 13th, I believe.
I thought it was the 13th too. They pushed everything back because of the storms. I
Right.
sent the ballot, some of the ballot questions as far as our amendments to some experts in some different states that might have situations that are similar to ours with regard to levees and the drainage and all. Florida, it has some drainage issues for sure. And being a little Miami girl, I do have some friends who work in that area. And so I'm wondering what they're doing to address their problems and whether this amendment that we are considering would solve some of the issues or just, be something that causes more problems. So I'm looking forward to hearing back from them. Unfortunately, there's some sort of deadline thing that they're dealing with, and it's crunch time for them. But I'm hoping I hear back from them soon.
Well, I have heard something to the effect.
I know him for the library.
The library. Yeah, we definitely.
That's given.
That's a pretty easy one. You
Right.
want to vote yes on the. I mean, that's not a tricky amendment from what I understand.
Right. It's just a continuation of that, and a lot of those things are just continuation of the financial support millages.
Right. It's
Some
a continuation of the
change
current
it.
millage, I believe.
Some change it a little bit. I think the one for the fire department ups it. But look at that closely and see,
Well, there's something about a tax too that is actually, I mean, what I was hearing today, and I haven't looked into it deeply, but there's something to the effect that it might actually lower some of the personal taxes that individuals around here pay, but I don't know that. So, I mean, sometimes they word these things to where you have to sit there and study it for 30 minutes to figure out, which clause is canceling out this one. And, I mean, it's unnecessarily complicated.
Well, we have always said that if we go to the PARS website, they do have a good analysis of different things that come up, especially when it deals with amendments and all. So I think that we posted a link to that on our Facebook page.
Okay.
So if not, we'll make sure that it's there before the 13th for sure. Hopefully soon. Remind me. Send me a reminder, please. Got a lot on my mind right now.
Oh, yeah?
As you may have heard, because I've been promoting it somewhat, and I think it's actually on the bulletin boards at AOC in the morning, is that World Polio Day is coming up on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, but I was doing some research. It turns out that October 24th was the birthday of Jonas Salk, the doctor who developed the vaccine back in the 50s. He was about 30. He was in his late 30s when he did that. He was a young man.
Okay.
But we will be trying to get people to come out to Vermilionville on Sunday, and they have a Fado. Even I don't know when they started it back up because for a while there you didn't go to anything that was where you'd be closer than 6 feet, and that's still encouraged. So maybe they're dancing apart. Maybe they're not dancing together. I don't know. I've not seen.
I don't know.
I might find out this Sunday. And and everybody else might too. Now the dance costs $10, but I think
Okay.
that you can probably go in and just maybe walk through to. I don't know for sure, but there is an admission to the park that's there, the buildings and all that. I think everything is $10. You get in for $10, and they probably
Okay.
have some breaks for people who are senior citizens. I think they get a $2 break, and they can get in for 8. And students, there's I think there's some age that you don't have to pay when you're little. Okay,
Okay.
so
For all the
all of
3-year-olds
that's
that happen to walk over there.
all of that's on the Vermilion Bills website, which is BayouVermilionDistrict.org.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can put a link to that also. Okay, and so what I'm encouraging is that everybody get their pinky nails painted purple like that.
Oh
See?
yeah, that's the
So
polio thing.
for the polio thing, what that is, it's kind of related to when they do the polio vaccines in overseas, and they have a lot of people there. What they do is they mark their finger when they've already given them the vaccine, so they don't double up.
Hmm.
So
Now you think people would know if they had one, you know? Oh wait, yeah, I've had one.
well, if you're dealing with children and you're not, talking the same language, it can be
Yeah.
very helpful to have that, because they're looking for people who haven't been vaccinated, and they see if they've got their pinky painted, that they've already been through the mill and gotten their vaccination. Hi there.
Yeah, I don't recall getting my pinky fingernail painted back when I had it 50 something years ago.
Well, we weren't as crowded as they are in India either, so
Yeah,
I think it makes a little bit of a difference.
that could be,
And
might be onto something there.
yeah. So anyway, but it's a good conversation starter, and it kind of is a reminder of the fact that it is like still an issue, and might encourage some people to go and do a little bit more research on their own. I've run into a lot of people, so they didn't even know that polio was still in existence as a disease that you could catch in the world, but it is.
It's getting to where, what is it, Afghanistan and Pakistan are the only 2 countries that
They
have
are
much
now.
of yeah, the
And not very many. I mean, we're as close as we've ever been to eradication.
yeah, I was reading something about 100 or 200 or something like that, that many cases or something. So it was getting, down pretty low. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm right on those numbers, but it was,
Well, it's only 2 live virus cases, and
oh, really?
then some that are, gosh, it's sort of like a secondhand thing. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities when you think about what we went through with polio and what we're going through with the COVID vaccine. And there was an article in NPR where some experts in the field of medicine and academics were saying that the thought is that, you look back and you say, well, polio was all done so efficiently. But really, there was a lot of the same things going on back then, as far as, people having concerns. But they definitely wanted to get the polio disease taken care of, because it was really threatening the children, and young people first, I think. Um, it's just really bad, and has caused a lot of misery in people's lives. I have friends whose parents had polio, and they, were limping all their lives.
Yeah.
And it affected them their entire life. And they're saying that this COVID has some long-term effects too. We're
Yeah,
not
it
even
definitely
sure
can.
what. Yeah, we're not even sure what exactly. some people, and even somebody here had said something about some sort of a blister on one of their organs that was related to them having had COVID. And so they had to address that internally to address that blister. It was on their heart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There is talk in Asia that they talk about the brain fog and rashes that are related to COVID. I haven't heard much about rashes here, but then they were using the AstraZeneca vaccine more than the ones that we've been using here. Although Israel supposedly was the first country to send over the Pfizer vaccine to South Korea. And
Really?
yeah, they designated that for teachers and older people. Teachers are really respected over there more than here in the United States. For them to have been within the first group to have gotten that vaccine, and that's an area that's really strict about making sure that people abide by the restrictions. You don't see people without masks very much there at all.
Yeah.
And I don't have mine on, but I have mine with me.
Well, that's good. I think they work just as long as you have it with you. That's what counts.
Well, no, it's better when you have it on, but everybody
yeah, but you're 6 feet away from everybody, so I think
and everybody in the group has had their most of them have had their boosters, I think.
Really?
I know I have, yeah. Or they're getting it like very soon. But it takes about 2 weeks for that to kick in too. Just like, with the original shot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm debating on, since I got the J&J, I'm debating on what kind of booster I should get, but supposedly it gives me, either the Moderna or the Pfizer, either one of them gives me quite a wide spectrum of
protection.
Right.
That's good. So, do you have like a date set up yet or no?
No, I mean, they really haven't. They haven't said too much about the if you had a Johnson and Johnson, what I haven't seen the parameters on that yet.
Okay.
But I mean, there's been some talk about it, but they haven't really. At least I haven't seen it to where they say if you started off with the J&J, wait this long and then go get one of these or whatever, So I'm just kind of
I think the latest
biding my time.
I think the latest data was like they said you should get it 6 months after, but they said that 2 months was much better.
Oh, really?
The latest they said is that it should have been a 2-dose shot from the get-go. Like it's
with
still
Johnson & Johnson?
Yeah, they're saying it's 78% effective, like as it is, like the 1 dose. But if it had been 2 shots, it would be like the same effectiveness as the others, which are like 98s.
Well, you're lucky you don't have it. You're lucky you don't have COVID.
Well, and that's still pretty effective, 78%. I didn't sneeze at 78 on my test score.
So the big thing is just to make sure you hang out with the right people.
Yeah, that's always a good thing too.
Well,
Speaking of the right people, I don't know if this is a good segue, but it's almost like break time since I'm cutting in anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to take a break then. If it's almost time, let's do it.
Okay.
Have a little breather. Intermission, everybody.
Time for a break.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. I'm Marcia Broussard, community activist, taxpayer, resident of Lafayette. You know, we always believe that action speaks louder than words. And Mayor Guillory, your actions of firing an honorable man, Chief Glover, is really the last straw. Chief Glover has displayed impeccable work ethics. Maybe if you would have worked alongside of him a little bit, you would have learned some of that. He instituted innovative plans in the department and was building a community trust in police officers. This positive moment is now lost because of you, Josh Guillory. You cannot work with a strong Black man working alongside of him in 2021. I'm saddened when our law enforcement agency is treated like a circus. And we have had a roller coaster of police chiefs since you've taken office. During your tenure, you take an honorable man like Chief Glover, and no disrespect, Wayne Griffin, to replace him with Wayne Griffin, who supposedly may have a good work record, but you know that he's about to be brought up on some allegations of sexual harassment. The person who you intend to be the permanent chief, you know, is an alcoholic and a drug abuser.
Hi, Margaret.
Excuse me?
No allegeds.
I'm speaking. So I'll say again, shame on you. I don't know how much more do you think we can or will take. Your hatred is evidence to the Black community. You do have your puppet Carlos Harvin to do what you pay him to do, and I'm saddened by that. But I believe that we can do better. I believe that Lafayette can do better. I know that Lafayette can do better. And I have to say it again. Shame, shame, shame on you. Shame on you. How can you mislead people the way you do over and over again? How can you do that? Chief Glover, we stand with you, and I wish you well. Thank you for allowing me to make these comments.
Well, I hope you had a nice little break there.
Well, here we are again.
Yes, yes. And so we want to share that there's a little bit more about the polio business. We're actually going to be painting the nails if people would like. We're going to encourage them to get like their pinkies painted and to give a donation to help for the work that's being done worldwide to eradicate polio from the world. And if we get enough worldwide, we're going to be matched evenly by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So we've budgeted to put some money out for it as a group. The Rotary Club has, and but every little bit helps, you know, because it's a big undertaking. And like I've said many times before, is that like the last mile it always seems like the longest, you know, the hardest and the longest and the biggest challenge. And because you're, you know, really a big deal. The porch area at the back of the gift shop will be what's set up where we'll have our tables and things. And we'll have some trifold display boards that have, I think, 3 different things. One of them is like Rotary's involvement in the eradication of polio, the history of polio, and then recognizing celebrities who have helped in the communication of information and support and their efforts to bring awareness and to help those people who've been affected by the disease. So it's all really interesting. You know that 2020 was the first year that the African continent had been certified as polio free. And they have to go through a 2-year waiting process without any new cases of polio in order to be to get that designation. So it was really a big milestone for the world to have had that occur.
Yeah, that is quite an accomplishment, I'd say.
And there's been, and it's not just been Rotary who's worked on it. The CDC and the World Health Organization. There have been smaller groups who, are closer on the ground that have taken up the torch and worked together with these bigger groups to help make it happen. Because some of it has to do with actually breaking through with a culture that people can trust. And, if you just go and try to get somebody to do something and they don't know you and you're unfamiliar to them, it might be like banging your head up against the wall. So the networking, the paths to establish and gain the successes that we've had have been very helpful and utilized within trying to also reach the people who have had COVID. The networking, the transportation and infrastructure and equipment that's been necessary to bring things to some of these places had already been established through the years that we've spent fighting the polio disease.
Yeah, we had kind of a similar problem with trust here, I'd say, in the good old US of A.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate. But there were some really huge communication errors. The idea that we should not, let people know really how bad something is, so that they won't panic. It costs us a lot of lives. I think we topped 600,000 lives in the United States alone. 700,000. And really, and to have had like Colin Powell among those who has been such a leader of our people, that's just heartbreaking.
He also, I would say probably that was more incidental in his case because the blood cancer that he had and, being 84 years of age and, immunocompromised and all that. That's, I would say, from what I've read and all that, I would say it was more of an incidental thing in his case.
Yeah. But a great man, a really great man. And it's, our hearts go out to the families of every victim, everybody who's had somebody who has passed away. Hopefully, we all learn lessons from this that we can help to take care of each other by taking care of ourselves and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, there is, in spite of the rhetoric that, there's still a lot of people that, they don't see the civic responsibility, or at least they don't believe in it or something.
I think we need to get that back in school. We used to really have a lot of engagement as young children in like knowing about our government and taking part in voting. I haven't seen that happening here as much. We were like in first grade, we had the election machines at our school, and I know that they're still at schools, But the children, it was like a field trip. You would go and watch, the election process.
Yeah, well, there seems to be generally idea that keeping the people ignorant is a good thing, and which I, totally disagree with. I mean, some of the I don't know if I'm thinking it was Jefferson, but it could have been another one of the guys around that time that said something about you can't have a democracy or a democratic republic or whatever you want to call it without education was an essential part of having a good country. And it seems like now, I mean, like today, I mean, there's the voting on the Freedom to Vote Act, and I mean that's
Well,
another big deal.
And as far as education goes, there's even like pushback against the education for the public schools.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we were running into things where people who have the wherewithal to support the system are trying to tear it apart by not supporting public schools, and that was like probably one of the major thrusts to have America do as well as it did for so long, as far as having, an educated population. Now, I don't know where people are getting their information sometimes.
Well, it's definitely an issue. I mean, I'm not sure how the voting thing is going to go today, but that's of course at the national level. But there's also a lot of ploys and different things that go on in the political process, because I've read some things about what effect this will have when it's defeated, which it probably will be. That's the word I have. But it's like if you think you have a good idea, then probably having a lot of people vote on it's a good thing, because they're probably going to want it too. So, and conversely, if the ideas that you have are not generally good for people, then you want to restrict the voting so you can get it passed. I mean, this is not rocket science.
Well, we've got somebody here who probably has more experience in the voting process than even you and I do. I don't know if he's wanting to say something or not. I know that.
I'll answer questions.
Huh?
I'll answer questions.
Well, I'm just wondering about a little bit as far as what you run across in your state, as opposed to how things have been going here in Louisiana.
It's about the same. We have the gerrymandered district also.
Gerrymandering also.
We, of course, are going through the redistricting right now. And there have been a couple of major changes. We have a couple of reservations, of Native American reservations in our state. And it looks like the Republicans are going to propose an AD section in those districts, so that the reservation will have their own representative on the reservation. At least that's the plan. It's not necessarily going to work that way, but if we try a little bit better chance of sending somebody to Bismarck, North Dakota, our capital. We do have one seat that is being gerrymandered out, so there is going to be a challenge there. And our population sensors might actually pick up one. Yeah, in along the Red River. Actually, the Red River of the North is goes through Fargo and Grand Forks, and that is the Democratic stronghold in the state.
Okay.
So the rest of the state is just red.
Yeah, well, Texas has been in the news a lot here lately because they have actually increased the number of representatives that they have. But at the same time, it's been brought to the attention through the media that they have essentially set it up to where there's it's sort of muddied up the black caucus totally, and then combined, one to where it's less for the Hispanics too, where they've sort of managed to kind of put them in an area where they're just overshadowed.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. I don't know what is going on with Louisiana as far as our numbers.
They haven't
reported it yet. They haven't really reported. I haven't heard that. It's all about Texas right now. So anyway, but thank you so much. We have some things that are a little bit lighter to talk about, like we have had storms go through, and it's been a whole nother year, and the area where the trails are utilized in Lafayette for different races and hiking needs some work. And so in the month of November, there's going to be at least 3 big organized efforts to clear out the trails from the overgrowth and all. One of them on the 20th will actually include Lafayette Proud. And all these start at 9 o'clock. The one on the 20th will be at the entrance to the park and involve Trail Lafayette Proud, the Rotary Club, and other volunteers who are interested. On other weeks, the meeting place will probably be the Shadow Bluff Bridge, which is it's a turnoff of Louisiana Avenue further to the north, closer to the interstate, but before you get to the racetrack and the mall there where they have the Target and Petco and Office Depot, all those, it's before that and after like Alexander. So that's something that people can look at, sign up for. I know that we will have it on our Facebook for the Rotary Club. We'll put it on our Facebook for the morning coffee. And whenever you do this, bring your gloves, bring what tools you have. Chainsaws are good to have if you know what you're doing with them. You want to be there at 9 o'clock so that you'll be part of the organized group. I always believe that whenever you're doing anything or canvassing or whatever, it's always good to have a buddy system. You don't go out and do stuff like that alone, because if something happens that, unforeseen, you want somebody there to be able to communicate and help you get back on your feet.
Yeah.
I understand that while we're having elections, the Southern Film Festival is going to be going on in Lafayette. It'll be a hybrid event where some of the movies that videos people have put together will be actually streamed through AOC, our great helper. We always love AOC and all the good that they do. And I'm not sure exactly when that starts, but we will be sure to put that on our Facebook page too, so people can go and see what's up. I'm sure they have a full schedule to look at. I know that there was going to be a little horror movie film review by Cite with spooky videos that people in the community have put together. I know I was wanting to try and submit one that some kids did from Lafayette High that was kind of scary and funny too, but well done. So maybe there's still time to get that because, well, we got 2 weeks before Halloween, and that's when that's happening. And that's
Yeah.
happening too. That's happening too. Everybody
Yeah,
needs
less
to.
than 2 weeks.
I've seen some really impressive decorations, like on the road that goes past Girard Park. You know, on the south end between Girard and the art museum, the Hilliard Art Museum.
Yeah.
You just keep on going that road, and you keep going like you do the roundabout, but you keep going straight, not turning off to the hospital or back around the Girard Park. And they've got one that's got like this, I don't know, he must be 12 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like a lit up skeleton guy. It's really spooky. Out in one of the people's yards, it lights up at night. Even in the daytime, though, it's creepy. I went someplace too where I was riding along, minding my own business, and it was in the neighborhood off of Old Broussard Highway, and they had this long stretch, and you can see these things floating around. It looks like they've got like handkerchiefs or something, but it's not. It's a projection of ghosts on their garage door. And because you're coming so far away, it's like, okay, what is this that I'm coming up upon? Well, that'll attract your attention, and then you kind of like turn your head to watch the road, and just like out of the corner of your eye, you're going to see this really creepy thing at the mailbox. It looks like a human being. And it was like, it startled me. I mean, I didn't lose control of the car or anything, but I have been on the road around Halloween before, and there's been like kids playing put these spooky masks on and scare people when they're driving by, and then they pass. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. You could really lose it.
Yeah.
Lose control of your car. I shouldn't be giving people bad ideas. But
well, maybe you're making them aware of what might be a bad idea that they hadn't really thought of as being a bad idea.
Right. It might seem like it's fun, but if somebody has a wreck, then you're going to have that on your conscience the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I would think. So you're saying that Halloween's actually going to be on Halloween tonight this year.
It's going to be on the 31st this year, from what I understand.
That's so nice. I get all mixed. You know, it's when they start changing the dates and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that it's going to be, that's going to be the trick or treat night or anything. But I was just, making a comment that Halloween's on the October the 31st. So I don't know if there's going to be a curfew
or a rescheduling of the time to go.
Yeah, let's see here.
They have about 3 different things that they're doing in the city of Scott. Somebody gave me some papers, and they're doing something on the 30th and something on the 31st, and they're having some sort of a breakfast on the 23rd at the new development. They say they're going to serve champagne, but I'm like, if it's a brunch, they ought to serve mimosas, not champagne.
Well, so the 31st is on a Sunday. So, I mean, that would...
They might make it be Saturday, which would be the 30th. So
yeah,
we'll
I don't
find
know.
out.
I haven't heard anything to that effect.
Well, it's coming up. Up. It'd be like it's only 2 weekends away. So we'll have to put all that on there too.
Yeah.
And then they have a really good little singer that's been making the circuit, this Katie Reese. She has actually offered to sing on our show.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know.
She did.
Meeting her last night, but I guess I missed that about her offering. She said
she would supper. Yeah, well, I don't know if she's expecting to get any supper or not. She's going to be out of luck, but she can definitely, come and join us. You know, who knows? We might even get into the studio for that. You know,
Yeah.
we'll have set our cameras up and everything. That'd be pretty cool. And she's
That
also
would be a change.
yeah, and we've actually had people who've come to our Rotary meetings and performed. It's just been
Really?
nice too. Yeah, our last Rotary meeting of our Rotary year for 2021 had a little band that was a family band that came from all the way from Baton Rouge to play for us. They were cute, and it would have been, you know, just sort of mundane, I think, except we had a visitor from the Rotary Club that meets in the Petroleum Club with the big population. They got about 200 members. I don't know how many are active, but anyway, Dr. Hilliard had actually had like master classes with the mother and father of this group. So that was a big surprise for them and for him. It worked out to be really kind of neat to have that unexpected reunion of instructors and students, and their kids were playing. So I don't know how long it had been since he'd seen them, but they had some.
Go ahead. I didn't
They had supposedly gone to Como High, even though they lived in Baton Rouge.
And we're talking about Dr. Hilliard of the museum fame.
No, his name's. He's in the music school. He's in the music school.
So it's another Hilliard, not necessarily related to the Hilliard Museum.
Yeah, I don't think that he's related to them, but he's definitely a musical icon as far as, you know, the teaching of musical theory and all that's concerned. So pretty cool. It was really cool.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So. So what are you going to be for Halloween?
Oh, I think I'll go around and scare people.
No, just don't do it in your car.
Yeah, no, I really don't have. There's no telling. I mean, doesn't seem like anybody, you know, any kids come around here for candy or anything. But so I have really no plan.
Well, they have neighborhoods who are like really just bombarded by people from all over who make sure that they go to this like neighborhood. I know that I think this place that decorated with the projections probably has a lot of children in it, and a lot of people probably go there because it's pretty compact. The same thing for a few of the neighborhoods in Scott. So maybe the smaller cities or the new developments would probably be the ones that would have the most traffic.
We used to there was a place we used to take Remy, and they were, you know, that was pretty active on their participation. I mean, they had quite a crowd, you know, just walking around this neighborhood, and I'm not even trying to think of where it was. You know, it seems like.
Well, when you remember, you can post it. And what I'm thinking is I'm going to invite people to visit our Facebook page and post past pictures of their trick-or-treaters or themselves in costume. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be.
Some old pictures, like when you're a lot younger.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get maybe we'll bring a throwback of certain like ideas as far as what people will dress up as.
Yeah, I don't think I have any pictures of myself dressed up in a trick-or-treating outfit.
No.
I think they had cameras back
But-
then, but
What about your kids?
well,
Your little boy.
they may be. There may be some somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but that was a good 10 or 15 years ago, I guess. So I mean, there were cell phones and all that, so there could be some. I don't recall seeing. I don't recall seeing any pictures of him. I don't know if he dressed up anyway. He might have just gone for the candy, you know.
Oh man, I hate it when people do that. I really do. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Can at least put on some cat ears and a tail or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But that'll be fun. I mean, and people had cameras. They can take a picture of their pictures.
Yeah.
With their phone. You know, a lot of people probably don't have albums now, but they might be able to pull out some old photographs and take a picture of them, and then they can get them online really easy. I know there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
And I've found that out, that especially is true with technology.
Yeah, there's definitely been quite an advance.
Yeah,
and,
we got 2 minutes.
Yes, I'd say so. Maybe
2
even
minutes.
coming up on a minute and a half, probably. But, yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, it's like I like my little forest that I'm in with the autumn leaves, and I'm not even in a forest with autumn leaves. It just looks like that's my special effects. I had, the probably not as, sophisticated as some of the CGI and green screen and blue screen and all that stuff. But
you can learn all about that at AOC.
That's
they
right.
have classes on how to actually do broadcasting and set up your screens and all. So we're going to end this show with a plug for AOC. It's AOCinc.org. They have classes that are online now, and they need our support all the time. They are like a nonprofit, so they would be more than happy to take our money if we can donate something to them. Same for polio.
Yeah, well, they definitely an improvement to the community.
So thank you, AOC. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
Without you, we could not even be talking to you now.
Well,
so,
maybe because it would be much more difficult, because I wouldn't know how to do it right offhand.
For sure. Bye.
But at any rate, well, come and see us. Come and see us. Come and see Morning Coffee on AOC.
You're done.
On Facebook. Oh, I know. I just wanted to say that.